Good afternoon and welcome. I'm Michael Paris, President and CEO of the Council for Quality Growth, and on behalf of our co-host Leonardo McClarty, President and CEO of the DeKalb Chamber of Commerce, we would like to welcome you to the 2014 DeKalb State of the County Address. Now, before we begin, I'd like to welcome someone to the stage who needs no introduction, our former CEO of DeKalb County, Liana Levitan.
Thank you. Isn't it a wonderful day in DeKalb County? Okay, everybody, say yes now. You know, I don't. It really is a privilege and a pleasure to be here today. When I was asked to be here, I said, how could I ever refuse this wonderful county of mine that, as I look around the room, all the movers and shakers are here. This is a new thing for me to come up and talk about what I'm going to today. But you know, since the founding of this great country, it's been the tradition of the chief executive, the president, to give an annual report to the people of the United States. In short order, this tradition extended to the heads of states and local governments. This address is an opportunity to take stock on conditions of government and now allows our leadership to present its vision, the priorities, and the plans for moving this government and the people forward. You see, this tradition began as an intergovernmental communication between the President and Congress, but here we are today doing the same thing in DeKalb County, communicating. DeKalb County, as you all know, is a great metropolis with over 700,000 people. And in spite of the cities that we have here, DeKalb County provides services for over 500,000 people. An organization the magnitude of DeKalb County affects everyone's lives. It's imperative that we have a strong and steady hand at its helm. And for these reasons, the State of DeKalb County Address is of great significance. As Ralph Waldo Emerson said, the future belongs to those that prepare for it. Today, you will have the opportunity to see how this county, with your help, will continue to prepare for its future. Thank you, and God bless all.
Thank you, Mrs. Levitan. Now, I would like to ask Commissioner Sharon Barnes-Sutton to the podium, who will introduce the DeKalb Board of Commissioners.
Good morning. It is my pleasure to introduce to you my colleagues, the second half of the governing authority, the DeKalb County Board of Commissioners. We are the policy-making branch of the government, the legislative branch. I'd just like to say, during this year, this past year up until now, we have done a remarkable job of pulling things together in a very difficult situation. And I am so proud of the work that the Board of Commissioners has done and the work of our interim CEO. We have established a new way of working, of communicating, of interacting. We have experimented with sharing staff, sharing ideas, and sharing leadership. And it's worked very well. So I am so proud today to be here to introduce you to my colleagues and to welcome you here to the State of the Address of DeKalb County. So commissioners, I would ask you to please stand because I can't see where you are in the audience, and then I will ask you to raise your hand when I call your name. Would you please stand? So in attendance this morning is the commissioner from the 1st District, Elaine Boyer. Would you raise your hand? We have our esteemed commissioner from the 2nd District, Commissioner Jeff Rader. As you know, we'll be having another program this evening, and I'm sure we'll be seeing the rest of our commissioners there this evening. And I would just like to name them just so that you know who we are in case you don't. Our commissioner from the 3rd District is Commissioner Larry Johnson. I'm the commissioner from the 4th District and the interim presiding officer. From the 5th District is our interim CEO, Lee May. 6th District, Commissioner Kathy Gannon, and 7th District, Commissioner Stan Watson. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Sutton. Hi, I'm Leonardo McClarty. I'm the president of the DeKalb Chamber of Commerce, and certainly it is a pleasure for me to stand before you and alongside Michael Paris with the Council for Quality Growth. This is now, I think, maybe our 4th year perhaps working together, and it's been a great partnership and one that we have enjoyed, and certainly I would call it in some regards, a labor of love, but we worked very well together, and all of it is part of partnership and collaborating with our elected body here, as well as also serving our membership. Now, if you would please stand as the DeKalb Police and Fire Rescue Color Guard presents the colors.
On time. March. Left turn. March. Color guard. Hold. Raise hand. Hold.
If you would join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Ready, two. All time. Out. Right turn. Out. Half step. Out. Colors up and out. Carry on, sir.
Thank you. You may be seated. The DeKalb Chamber of Commerce for the last 75 years has been serving DeKalb County and its business community. And in doing so, we have focused particularly our efforts in membership engagement, education, economic development, and other quality of life initiatives and things that really are paramount to business success for those of you that are either located here in DeKalb County or conducting business here in DeKalb County. In providing that leadership to the business community is our board of directors, who I would just like to thank for their service as well as recognize here. And so if members of the DeKalb Chamber Board, if you would at least just raise your hand and be acknowledged. A little bit later on, you'll hear it in Michael's comments, you will hear an update related to something that is truly near and dear to both of our organizations, and that is the county's economic development strategic plan, in which we both are actively engaged in. And so again, that is something that I want you to pay particularly close attention to, and especially it comes with an action item. And that is, there is a survey that is currently being conducted that we need all of your feedback and that we need all of your input on. Again, I cannot stress the importance of the input from the business community on this economic development strategic plan. Again, Michael will touch further on that in his comments as we move forward. Just two other things before I continue moving through the script. The first is just a general housekeeping. I know that many of us are constantly networking and trying to create and drive business. And so what tends to happen at events like this is when we have a break in the action, the room, everyone gets up and everyone is working the room and trying to see people. But the one thing that I just want you to, again, keep in mind is that we're on a tight schedule. The men and women here are trying to more than adequately serve us. And so if you would just keep that in mind as you start to begin your networking during the lunch serving segment of the program. And then lastly, we're in the age of social media. And so for those of you that would like to follow this event on Twitter, the hashtag is DeKalb SOC. So again, on Twitter, that's DeKalb SOC. Now, many of you know that events like these are not possible without the support of our sponsors, and I'd like to take a moment to recognize them. Our presenting sponsors are AECOM. AECOM is a global provider of professional, technical, construction, and management services to a broad range of markets, including transportation, facilities, environmental, energy, water, and government. AECOM provides a blend of global reach, local knowledge, innovation, and technical excellence in delivering solutions. We thank one of our presenting sponsors in AECOM. Next is Gas South. One of Georgia's leading natural gas providers, Atlanta-based Gas South serves more than 260,000 residential, business, and governmental customers across the state. Gas South's customer-first approach is emphasized by their hometown value promise to always provide great everyday low rates, outstanding local customer service, and strong support for the communities we serve. Again, we thank Gas South. Our last presenting sponsor, Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo is the #1 bank in DeKalb County with a 29% market share. Wells Fargo serves DeKalb customers with more than 400 team members and through 24 bank stores. In addition to fueling growth through lending, Wells Fargo provides insurance, payroll and treasury services, mortgages, and much more. Wells Fargo also helps DeKalb through volunteerism and giving. In 2013, Wells Fargo contributed nearly $7 million to groups serving the Atlanta metro area, with 69 of those groups based in DeKalb County. Let's thank Wells Fargo. Our other sponsors are our gold sponsors, CH2M Hill, the Development Authority of DeKalb County, Peachtree Prompters, and Publix. Our silver sponsors are Brown & Caldwell, Georgia Power Company, Greenberg Treywick, Grice Consulting Group, and McKenna Long & Aldridge. Our bronze sponsors, Atkins, Jackmont Hospitality, Patillo Construction, and Silverman Construction Program Management. Again, a round of applause for all of our sponsors.
Give me 1 second. Thank you, Leonardo. And now we would like to recognize many special guests who are in attendance today. I would especially like to welcome Atlanta City Council President Caesar Mitchell, Fulton County Chairman John Eves, Rockdale County Chairman and CEO Richard Oden, And certainly, most importantly, the Mrs. CEO, Mrs. Robin May. I would also like to thank and welcome the many elected and appointed officials we have in the room. If all of our state legislators would please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. And in addition to our county commission, we have other city and county commissioners from around the region. Please stand and be recognized. And most of all, would all of our DeKalb County staff, the folks that make this place run every day, can I ask you to please stand and be recognized? And not to have missed the mayors in the room. So all the mayors, please stand and be recognized. And of course, our interim CEO, who you will hear from later, Lee May. Thank you all. I hope each and every one of you are aware of the Council of Quality Growth. Again, it is great to be a part of this partnership. Council is in its 29th year working with our local governments to create a better atmosphere between the development industry and the local elected officials and governments to create an atmosphere of quality growth in the region. We have a DeKalb Advisory Committee. We meet each month along with the other 6 advisory committees around the region. I hope you learn about the council, get involved in the council, and we appreciate your participation. I would also like to recognize our chairman this year, Mr. Brent Reed, President and CEO of Winter Construction. I invite each and every one of you to attend our State of the County with Cherokee with Chairman Buzz Aarons on February 12th. There's a table out front where you can get more information on that, and you have a flyer in your chair. One quick advertisement. The new book, Zoning and Land Use Law in Georgia, written by Doug Dillard, sitting right up here, is available for sale out front. This is the final Bible on zoning and land use in Georgia, Doug. Well, not your final Bible, but one of them. Please take a look at that. And finally, as you know, as many of you know, as Leonardo has mentioned, DeKalb County is in the process of improving its permitting process and developing an economic development strategic plan. The county needs your input on this to ensure both improvement projects are the best serve the needs of the residents and businesses of DeKalb County. On your table, you're going to find a flyer that has information on the 2 surveys that we need your input on. Now, you can't leave the room until you go to the website. You got to pay attention to the speeches first. But there's QR codes on here, so if anybody under 30 knows what to do with those, look it up. And Luz Barrero is not going to let you leave this room until you have participated in the survey. Information should be on the screen about the website and the survey, so please participate in the survey. Now, please welcome Reverend Grace Washington, Senior Pastor at Love Life Fellowship Church, who will give our invocation.
Good afternoon. To Interim CEO Lee May, Presiding Chair Sharon Barnes Sutton, all other elected officials, my co-laborers of the gospel, and others who have gathered here this afternoon. As we prepare to embark and embrace the task of leadership and service here in DeKalb County, I invite you, let us look to the Lord in prayer. All-wise, eternal, loving, gracious God, we pause to formally and publicly thank you for this wonderful opportunity to serve and lead this great county called DeKalb. Dear Lord, we submit ourselves to you right now as we recall the words of the prophet Isaiah, who foretold us that the government shall be upon your shoulders. So, Almighty God, We humble ourselves before you, and we trust you to provide all the wisdom and guidance that these your leaders will ever need. Lord, help them to lead effectively with honesty and integrity, with transparency and fairness, and with compassion and compassion. Gracious God, we thank you today and always for the unity, because we know that where there is unity, there is strength. So, Lord, we need your strength so that DeKalb County can walk in the fullness of the greatness that you have already ordained. Use these your servants, Heavenly Father, this year like never before, for this is their call. This is the path set before them. And we know that this noble task called service is the rent that we pay for the privilege of living on this earth. So we thank you, dear Lord, that the tasks that lie ahead will be embraced wholeheartedly for the good of the citizens of DeKalb County. Bless every leader, every assistant, and every county worker. Anoint their going out and their coming in. Touch their hearts and minds so that they may hear your voice, comprehend your words, and act on your instruction. We will forever remember to give you glory and honor, for we know without you we can do nothing, but with you we can do all things because you strengthen us. It is in the marvelous, mighty, and miraculous name of our Almighty God that I pray. Amen.
And just excuse me, just quickly, we failed to acknowledge just some other elected officials that were present. And so of our other constitutional officers who were present, those that would be perhaps our judges, our sheriff, and others, if you would also stand and be recognized as well. And thank you, and lunch will now be served. We will now prepare to continue with the remaining part of our lunch program, and certainly it is a pleasure for me to introduce the next person that you have listed on the program, and that is our superintendent of DeKalb County Schools, and that is Michael Thurman. And as Superintendent Thurman makes his way up to the stage, I'd also like to recognize Commissioner Kathy Gannon, who has joined us. In addition, yes, please applaud for Commissioner Gannon. And also, as Superintendent Thurman comes forward, let's also give a very warm and arousing applause for our Board of Education who's present, who got some phenomenal news this week. And so let's give them a hand. Without further ado, Superintendent Michael Thurman.
Good afternoon. First, I want to thank Leonardo, Arnie, the members of your Education Committee, all of the members of the DeKalb Chamber of Commerce for your support and your encouragement. Without the active support of this chamber, yesterday's announcement would not have been possible. And so let's give yourselves a hand. Thank you so much. Thank you. And on behalf of my chair, Dr. Melvin Johnson, as you mentioned, 3 board members are here. Mr. Orson, who's over there? Dr. Morley, and Mr. Mayfield. I am honored and privileged to introduce the man of the hour, our keynote speaker, our interim CEO, Mr. Lee May. I've known Mr. May since he first entered public service. And from our very first meeting, I have been impressed and inspired by his dedication and commitment. And I've also been really thankful for the partnership that the DeKalb School District has developed with our county government. And it's because of his leadership and vision that we were able and are able to continue to improve the quality of education in our county. Lee May was appointed Interim Chief Executive Officer of DeKalb County, Georgia, by Governor Nathan Deal on July 7, 2013, to administer the county's $1.2 billion annual budget. As the youngest person to sit in the highest executive seat of the third largest and most populous county in the state of Georgia, May has promoted progress and movement through collaboration with local school district, responsible public safety, community beautification initiatives, empowerment to youth and children, engaged economic development and business growth, and enhanced government efficiency. Immediately prior to his executive appointment, May served as the presiding officer of the Board of Commissioners, chairman of the Budget Finance Committee, a member on the Public Safety and General Safety Committee. Voters first chose him for public office in July 2006 in a special election to fill the seat vacated by now Congressman Hank Johnson. Lee May has since then been reelected twice by an overwhelming majority. He serves on various national and local associations, including the National Association of Counties, chair of the Next Generation Committee, vice chair of the Community and Economic Development Steering Committee, and member of the large Urban County Caucus. He is also a member and leader within the Georgia Democratic Party State Committee, Leadership Georgia, Leadership DeKalb, and Young Elected Officials Network. He's also a proud member of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. Being a Kappa, I won't hold that against my brother. And as both an elected official and a member of the clergy, my friend Lee May has superbly built a bridge between faith and politics in his latest book entitled My God, My Politics, a discussion on faith and politics. In this unique and empowering book, he uses his personal experiences in both worlds to bring clarity for the layperson, telling them that their faith, in fact, can and should inform their politics. He tells us that people of faith have every right to inject their faith into the political discourse of our nation and of this county. He is the son of a pastor, a graduate from Emory University's Candler School of Theology. He earned a master's in divinity degree, and he's earned a Bachelor of Science degree from the historic Clark Atlanta University. He is married to his college sweetheart, the lovely Miss Robin May. Give her another round of applause. And if my eyes do not deceive me, they're expecting another child, the third child. They are. That's worth an applause too, actually. You know. He is a proud father of two beautiful daughters, Ryan and Reagan. And after this video, I will formally introduce to you our CEO, interim CEO, my friend, our leader, Lee May. But first, the video.
The governor announced that DeKalb Commission Chair Lee May would serve as interim CEO.
I am further, pursuant to the provisions of Georgia law, appointing District 5 Commissioner Mr. Lee N. May to fill the temporary vacancy in the office of CEO of DeKalb County.
I am clear that this is a temporary position.
May said he talked with every county commissioner and he promised they would cooperate with each other.
I have some great ideas. You've heard me espouse them many times. Now it's time to make it happen. Moments after taking the oath to serve as the interim CEO of DeKalb County, Lee May introduced his belief of progress through partnership and weathering the storm through collaboration.
As I look at him in terms of the leadership that he's providing now as the CEO of DeKalb, I think then perhaps that it goes back to his own adolescent years, just believing that he can make a good difference.
He'll always say, well, this is not me, it's us together. You know, this is not my county, this is ours, the county for the people, and he's there to serve.
Using that pledge to partner in every facet of the county, including working with DeKalb cities, schools, and certainly his colleagues on the Board of Commissioners, Lee May has answered the call to lead DeKalb through the troubled waters of today.
My husband feels like, oh my gosh, this is my opportunity to really be a heartbeat for the working person who's trying to make ends meet, who's trying to figure out how they're going to survive in this economy. He really wants to be the heartbeat for that, and he can be because he is.
Now that he's in that role of CEO, we're hoping that he'll still work with the commissioners, and let's move things forward for the county and for the employees.
I want DeKalb to prosper, and I think with strong leadership we have a good opportunity to make that happen so that we can all help in the betterment of DeKalb overall.
For the betterment of DeKalb, May used his first months in office to rebuild the public safety department through incentives for our first responders and the naming of DeKalb's top officials in the most critical area of any community, public safety.
So I will submit to you that we don't have a money problem. What we have is a heart problem. If we say that public safety is our #1 priority, we must back that up with a financial commitment that will allow you to be equipped with the resources that are necessary for you to be successful.
We thank you, we praise you, and we honor you for all the sacrifices that you make each and every day. Keep up the good work, because the DeKalb County Commissioners and our CEO, we're here for you.
Delivering on his promise to improve all levels of county operations, the CEO jumped right into his new role, rolled up his sleeves, and sprang into action.
I think that he means the best for us. First, because this is the only CEO that even came down here. Let's just go there. You know, for him to even do that means a lot.
It just meant that he was involved and that he wanted to be a part. I mean, to me, it was just everything. He was fabulous.
During just 6 months in office, CEO May has made the tough leadership decisions necessary to protect DeKalb, improve DeKalb, and even beautify all of DeKalb County.
This is a fresh start for DeKalb County. Operation Fresh Start 2.0.
When our CEO became our CEO, I brought this to his attention, and I especially mentioned this intersection, and I love it. It's all going to happen, and this is going to be wonderful.
In the past, you had the administration, you had the commission, the two branches of government working parallel to each other and trying to come together. We have a system now where we share resources in terms of personnel resources. We're doing our budgeting differently.
As interim CEO, Lee May has accepted the call to make permanent change and lifelong progress for DeKalb County.
I think he's trying to bring the county together. He's talked about putting together a commission, about looking at our form of government. And so I think by and large, I think you'd have to give him real high marks at this point.
I'll tell you what, I like Lee May. And if you could buy stock in an individual, I would buy stock in Lee May.
He is amenable to listening to the people. He has put things in perspective to make some corrections to the ills that we are dealing with. And I think it's very good.
Determined to create a county of progress, Lee May has not wavered on his commitment to restore the quality of life, ensure stellar services, and promote strategic growth of DeKalb by meeting the county's greatest challenges head-on since the moment he accepted the call to serve.
Lee May has certainly shown his ability to step into this void and lead the county through these turbulent times.
I am encouraged that DeKalb County will regain the prominence that it once had and will continue to lead this region, this state, and this nation.
The message is we're in this together. We're going to move this county forward together. Hold your head up high. The best days are yet to come. And the Board of Commissioners and me in this acting role, we're going to move this county forward. And you're going to see some great things to come.
Fellow DeKalb County residents, it is my distinct honor and privilege to introduce to you a young man of vision, determination, integrity, dedication, none other than the Honorable Lee May, Interim CEO, DeKalb County, Georgia.
I can do it, brother.
Good to see everyone out this afternoon. You know, I'm seeing that video for the first time myself as I'm sitting down, and my staff keeps saying, pay attention, you know, what's going on. And my wife and I over there kind of tearing up because it's something when you see your parents speak highly about you. All that other stuff is good, but when your mama and your daddy speaks highly about you and you know that they are proud of the work that you are doing, it really means a lot. So I'm excited about this moment. Even more so, I'm honored to be in this position of leadership. This is an honor, and this is a privilege, and I don't count it lightly that I'm in this position. And I'm thankful for many of you all's friendship and your support and your prayers. I do want to do one thing as we begin this moment of our luncheon. Number one, I want to thank the Council for Quality Growth and the DeKalb County Chamber of Commerce for your leadership and for continuing to do this work each and every day. You are key partners in moving our county in the right direction, and you continue to push the envelope, and I want to thank you. And again, thank you for hosting this again. But I also want to have all of our elected and even our appointed officials to stand up again. I felt like we didn't do justice earlier this day. Our elected officials, our appointed officials. Let's give them a round of applause. And y'all stay up, because I'm going to go around the room as I'm seeing you all. And what we have here, you all, is a beautiful, beautiful thing. You know, we have our school board members and members of city councils and mayors over here. Let's give them a round of applause, especially our school board again for the great, great work that you all are doing. We have our school board there, but we also have Mayor of Decatur, Mayor of Lithonia, Mayor of Stone Mountain. We have city council folk from Brookhaven here. We have our great sheriff, Mr. Thomas Brown, who has been leading us so diligently for God knows how many years. Thank you for your leadership, Sheriff Thomas Brown. Now, Thomas is going to be leaving us soon, but I just want to thank you for your leadership in the role of sheriff. You have Jeff Mann, who's been running the jail. No offense, Sheriff. But Jeff Mann, who's been running the jail for years. We have our state senator, Ron Ramsey. He's not mine, but I adopt him so many times. He's chair of the Senate delegation. And of course, we have my colleague on the Board of Commissioners, Commissioner Sharon Barnes-Sutton, who has stepped up in the role of interim presiding officer. We got Von Irons, and we have Judy Turner from our Development Authority, who have been great, great partners as well. We have our clerk's office here. We want to thank you, Deborah DeBerry, for the great, great work that you are doing. Thank you so much. Again, we have city council people from everywhere. We have my colleague here who wasn't here earlier, Commissioner Kathy Gannon. She's in heavy leadership with our Association of County Commissioners of Georgia. She is doing a phenomenal job in that work. Thank you for your leadership. We have our chairman of Rockdale County, Richard Oden. Now, we adopt him as a resident of DeKalb County because he spent most of his time in DeKalb, you all. He did, but he's doing a phenomenal work over in Rockdale County. We have our city council president. I call him Mr. President all the time. Hopefully mayor coming up soon. Yeah, I said it. I can say it because I'm not in Atlanta. I can say that. But that's my good friend, Caesar Mitchell in Atlanta. Thank you for your work. We have my congressman. Now, I got to spend a little time. And I know I'm taking a little time on this, but I got to spend some time on Congressman Johnson, because had it not been for Congressman Johnson having this crazy idea that he wanted to run for Congress, and by the way, none of y'all believed he could win. Y'all didn't. Y'all know. I didn't think he could win. But he jumped in, and he ran, and he won. And he's been serving us well, serving us on the congressional level. I fulfilled his seat. And I want to thank him for your leadership and your friendship as well. We have in the back, we have Howard Mosby, our state representative and leader of our House delegation as well. He's doing a phenomenal job, the work that you're doing. Thank you for your friendship. And he was up on the screen too. A lot of people were on the screen that I didn't know. They didn't tell me. It was just a bright idea, but thank you for those kind words. Jeff Rader, Commission District 2 on our board. You talk to him long enough, and he'll say about 20 words that you've never heard of before. But it's an attribute of him that he is very intelligent, has great ideas for our county, and serving District 2 well. Michelle Hinton, who was always also on the screen, thank you for your friendship, representing us at the state legislature. Thank you so much for what you're doing. Dana Lemon, representing us on the Department of Transportation Board. Now, she doesn't represent, you don't represent any of DeKalb, do you? I'll stay close to you because we need those transportation dollars, you and R.L. Brown and others that are serving us. And Fred Daniels on our MARTA board, thank you so much. He's the former chair of the board. He's been doing a great job serving us in that role and in his leadership with Citizens Trust Bank as well. Now, I saw Keith Parker over here somewhere. There you are, Keith. Go ahead and stand up. Keith has been doing a great job serving us on the MARTA board. As well. Thank you, Keith. You came in at really a perfect time to really guide this organization moving forward. And I done started naming names, and I'm seeing other people that I'm seeing, but I'm going to stop real. So we have our new mayor of Clarkston, Ted Terry. I think he's taken my role as being the youngest around. How old are you, Terry? 30. Good Lord. I'm an old man, Terry. So thank you all for your leadership. Thank you. I see councilmen and women from Brookhaven, from Dunwoody, from Clarkston, from Stone Mountain, from Pine Lake, from Avondale. Is the mayor of Pine Lake here?
He is not.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure. But thank you all so much. And if I missed you, that's just because I couldn't see you, okay? I love you anyway. And I wanted to acknowledge each and every person that are elected and appointed, because the work that we all have to do together is something that shouldn't be taken lightly. You know, it's the work that we do is a thankless job, and you think, yeah, we want it for power and prestige, and we want the camera and the lights to be on us, but it really is a work of sacrifice, you know, to really lead this county in the right direction. So thank you all for your leadership. Thank you for being here, and thank you all, family, friends, members of the business community, community leaders, citizens, and thank you all for the work that you do. So good afternoon. Now today I'm reminded of a passage of scripture in the Old Testament of the Bible, in the book of Nehemiah. Now, relax. I'm not here to proselytize you or lead you to Christ or any other religion. But it's simply meant to paint a picture of where we are as a county and where we must go from here. In the book of Nehemiah, in this passage, Nehemiah hears that his hometown, Jerusalem, has been attacked by the enemy. And the wall that was once used for protection, their first line of defense, was broken and it was burned. When Nehemiah received word about the condition of his hometown, he immediately took flight to return to his native land. It was here that he began assessing the situation and pulling people and resources together to restore that wall and ultimately protect the city. Now, this story particularly is relevant to our beloved county because Nehemiah in this story realized very early that he could not accomplish all that he felt led to do by himself. He understood the power of collaboration. He understood the power of unity. So Nehemiah sought the support of everyday leaders like yourselves, and he began pulling them together alike to assist him in rebuilding the wall. And they did it together. Now, the story tells us that not only did they rebuild the wall, they did it in record time. Thus, during this time of turmoil and uncertainty in our county about the future and direction of this county, we have all had to step forward as servant leaders in our county's time of need. Nehemiah understood that he couldn't resolve the issues of his time by himself, nor did he try. He understood that it would be only through the hands of collaboration and unity that the work of his town could be done. And so likewise, it is crystal clear that the future of our county does not reside in the hands of one. The prosperity of our county is one that will rest on the foundation of collaboration and unity. It will take the private sector and the public sector, the schools and the communities and the cities and the faith community and the business community all working together for the overall good. So we must seize this opportunity. We must seize the day. As the Latin phrase says, we must carpe diem, we must seize this moment. So here we stand as a county with various walls that stand in disarray. The wall of education had once been vulnerable to the enemy of mediocrity and failure. The wall of safety and security had become vulnerable to the vagabonds of lawlessness and disruption. The wall of prosperity had become vulnerable to the enemy of high rates of unemployment and hopelessness. The wall of beauty and cleanliness of our county has been threatened by the enemy of litter and abandoned and overgrown properties. The wall of ethics and integrity is being threatened by accusations of dishonesty and corruption. And so in short, I'm here to tell you, every DeKalb County stakeholder, every citizen, every business owner, and yes, even our visitors, that this administration stands prepared to use our struggles of today to define our progress for tomorrow. Now, rest assured, this administration is meeting DeKalb County's challenges head on. Now, during this time of transition as interim CEO, my staff and I have been conducting ongoing assessments of county operations. I've met with literally thousands of employees and citizens and business owners in every pocket of our county to gain input about what we are doing and how we are doing it. What works for the people of DeKalb County and where our county government have fallen short. Now, the author of the book, From Good to Great, many of you all have read that, Jim Collins says, and I paraphrase only slightly, I don't know where we should take this organization, but I do know that if I start with the right people, if I ask them the right questions, if I engage them in vigorous debate, we will find a way to make this organization great. So we must understand the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats within our county. As a result of this interaction between all of these key stakeholders of the county, we are developing this blueprint, this guide that will move us forward as a county. So let's start by highlighting a very important fact about our county. DeKalb County, a county over 700,000 people, over 2,100 miles of roadway, and 269 square miles, is a very large county, the third most populous county in our state. And it has many needs. And we cannot accomplish all that we are called to do without the great men and women that work for us each and every day. Let's give them a round of applause for all of our employees here. We cannot be successful as a county if our employees are not successful. Therefore, we must place considerable attention and care in all of our employees to ensure that we have the right leaders in the right seats to lead our county forward. We must ensure that we are providing adequate training for our employees so they are prepared to do their jobs. We must ensure that we are providing fair compensation and promotional opportunities for our workforce. And fellas, you'll hear me on this one. When mama's happy, everybody's happy. Ain't that right, baby? And so we have to make sure that we have a happy and prepared workforce, that we have a county that is well served by our employees. So we must meet the needs of our workforce right now to ensure that we have a workforce equipped and prepared to serve our counties each and every day. So during this chapter in DeKalb's history, we are granted an opportunity to restore this county to the greatness that we all know and love. And this blueprint, this roadmap that we are creating for our prosperity will make us safer, it'll make us cleaner, and more competitive as a county. Now, our work is built on 4 strategic priority areas. All serve as a focal point of this administration. And indeed, they are all reflected in the 2014 budget that I delivered to the Board of Commissioners on December the 15th. These strategic priority areas are enhancing public safety, spurring economic development and job creation, developing community beautification efforts, and ensuring efficiency and ethics in government. Indeed, these priorities and our partnership formed thus far serve as a compass as we are meeting our challenges head on. Excuse me. Now, public safety is the foundation of any strong and thriving community. Its ability to protect and serve its citizens and stakeholders is key. And so, guided by moral principles to uphold integrity and honor and the public trust, our men and women in uniform shoulder this expectation of security each and every day that they serve. They place service before self to protect the veil of safeguard each of us holds dear. Now, in DeKalb County, public safety is priority number 1, but it's not just an often used cliche. We are putting our resources where our proverbial mouth is. The fact is, we have been losing more frontline personnel at faster rates than we can hire them. So in September, with many of my colleagues on the Board of Commissioners standing with me, I introduced a 3-year plan addressing the many issues facing our police and fire and rescue departments in their recruitment and in their retention efforts. And we realized that great plans call for great leaders. And so in December of 2013, I promoted Dr. Cedric Alexander to the position of Deputy Chief Operating Officer of Public Safety. Dr. Cedric Alexander, stand up. Let everybody see. We all know you, but. And also Assistant Chief James Conroy. Is Chief Conroy in the building? Okay, he'll be here this evening. I put him in the position of Interim Chief of Police. And Chief Conroy has 23 years in the DeKalb County Police Department. And recently, I announced the hiring of our new fire chief, Chief Darnell Fulham. He is a 26-year veteran of fire and rescue, and I am pleased to have him on DeKalb County's winning team. Now, our leadership recognizes that public safety and the resources that they need must be one that makes them successful. And as many of you are aware, I announced in September several new initiatives. A 3% one-time bonus for our sworn personnel that they received in December. I think that was a good Christmas present for them. This was the first increase that they had received in possibly 6 years. The reinstatement of the promotional pay increase for police and fire and rescue as budgeted in my 2014 budget. The hiring of 160 new police officers and 100 firefighters every year for the next 3 years. Now, if you can, Dr. Alexander was the first one to clap on that one. Now, if you can add like I can, that is 480 new police officers and 300 new firefighters over that 3-year span. A tuition reimbursement program for our police and fire and rescue up to $5,000. Now, that's important because it allows them to promote themselves academically to put them in a more competitive position for promotional opportunities. And finally, the institution of a take-home program for our police officers. This will move us in the right direction, and this will get us on the right track. And these initiatives are not the sum total of the solutions needed to address all of the issues that plague our system, but it is a start. It will keep us on the right path in terms of reducing crime. And in that vein, I'm also happy to report that we saw an overall reduction of crime, violent crime, by 4% in 2013. And a reduction in property crime by 5% during that same period. That is a testament to the hard work that our men and women in uniform do each and every day, most time understaffed. Isn't that right, Dr. Alexander? That's right. They do a phenomenal job. And so I assure you that in the area of public safety, we are rolling up our sleeves and meeting our challenges head on. And this also holds true in one of the major areas, the major focus areas of my administration, and that is of economic development. Now, local government and the business community have always been dependent upon each other for mutual success. Now, as I've traveled all across the county listening to the concerns and citizens, economic development and job creation were of paramount importance. While government itself does not create jobs, it is our responsibility to create an environment in which businesses can grow and thrive. Now, there have been several factors within our government, we'll admit, that have made us less competitive, less attractive, and less viable for companies to remain in DeKalb County. And as a result, business recruitment and retention has suffered in recent history. But we want our business owners to know, many of you all out here, that we hear you loud and clear. And that is why we are meeting the challenges that you've experienced in trying to do business with our county head on. We know that we must create a business-friendly atmosphere to attract businesses to our county. To that end, we are addressing 3 particular areas that will lead us in the right direction where economic development is concerned. First, our permitting and business license process. Can I get an amen, anybody? Oh, okay, all right. I thought you would like to. We understand that this has been a nightmare for many businesses striving to open or expand their current operations in DeKalb County. So in partnership with the business community, of course, the Council for Quality Growth, thank you for your work, and an outside consultant, we are restructuring the permitting and business license process in DeKalb County. We will be updating our technology to meet your needs, in addition to relocating to a more centralized location. This will make doing business in DeKalb County a much more efficient process. And second, for the first time in recent history, DeKalb County is developing an economic development strategic plan, thanks to our Board of Commissioners. Thank you, Elaine. We have already contracted with an internationally renowned economic development firm to work with us to develop a strategic plan that will guide our efforts well into the future. By implementing this strategic plan, we will finally determine who we are as a county, where we want to go, and how we will achieve our goals together. So Kathy, Jeff, Sharon, that's all that's here. Thank you all for really approving that contract, because that's really going to move us in the right direction. And so third, under my administration and in partnership, of course, with the Board of Commissioners, DeKalb County is pursuing an intergovernmental agreement with the Development Authority of DeKalb County to designate it as the economic development agency for our county. Now, this will give DeKalb County an apparatus to ensure the full implementation of our newfound economic development efforts. And this new agency will be charged with implementing the strategic plan and taking the lead on stimulating new investment, expanding existing industry, and developing sustainable economic strategies for balanced growth in DeKalb County. This is the new way of undertaking economic development efforts, and we have seen local jurisdictions all across the state and the nation take on similar efforts to this model, and they are experiencing exciting results. This model elevates DeKalb as a major competitor both on the local and the national stage. And so I want to acknowledge our men and women that are here from the Development Authority. I see our chair, Von Innes. Go ahead and stand up. I want people to see you all as a part of that. Judy, go ahead and stand up. Kevin Griner. We are partnering together to establish this new way of doing business. And this is something that is really going to be cutting edge, and it's going to move us in the right direction. Now, we realize that attracting business to DeKalb also includes making sure our county is aesthetically appealing and desirable to our key stakeholders. The beautification of this county is another priority of this administration that we are meeting head on. So through collaboration with Keep DeKalb Beautiful and our code enforcement departments, we have launched Operation Fresh Start, a comprehensive beautification initiative that promotes attractive communities and commercial areas. To this end, Operation Fresh Start consists of 5 major programs that work in tandem to promote the improved look and feel of the county's main corridors and entryways. Getting a chance to see some of it on the screen. Now, of these 5 initiatives, number 1 is the Attractive Roadways Plan, which improves both the maintenance of both county roads and state roads. Number 2, the Gateway Interchange Program that develops unique, aesthetically pleasing entryways into neighborhoods and commercial districts across DeKalb. This includes a major facelift to the gateways in our communities and business districts. Number 3, the newly created Sign Posse, I really love this, which is being deployed on a daily basis to remove illegal signs from intersections and key interchanges. You like that, Michelle? Number 4, the Private Property Maintenance Program, which addresses the most egregious code violations while minimizing the impact on properties in the surrounding communities. And number 5, the general public is really going to love this, staffing up of DeKalb County's Code Enforcement Division. Now, when I first got on the Board of Commissioners, we had a total of 7 code enforcement officers for the entire county. We currently have 25, and through our 2014 budget, we are increasing that number of 25 to 32 code enforcement officers. Now, I firmly believe we need to double 25 to 50, but this is a start that will move us in the right direction. And so I stand before you here today to assure you that our county will once again look like the DeKalb we were once proud of. We are meeting the challenges of litter, overgrown properties, and abandoned communities with illegal signs as well, and we are meeting them head on. And we will fix these issues once and for all. Now, yet another area demanding our attention is that of overall efficiency in government. While economic drivers indicate that we are in the midst of a recovery, we are not immune to the lasting impacts the downturn has had on our economy, on our revenues, and our operations. As interim CEO, I am committed to reorganizing how county government works to ensure we are a leaner, more efficient government. In meeting the challenges imposed by the status of our economy head-on, we've slated the implementation of strategic programs for 2014. focusing on innovation instead of convention as we work to move our county forward. So last November, the Board of Commissioners approved a consultant to help the county identify cost savings and help improve customer service in our Department of Watershed Management. Our commissioners, I think, like that one. Now, this partnership is expected to improve customer service and reduce wait times for our customers. And furthermore, we stand to save millions of dollars over the next several years, and that will help our DeKalb County ratepayers. And so whether you call it a tax, a fine, or a fee, we understand it's coming out of the same pocket, and we have to be efficient with the dollars that you expend for your services. So in addition to saving citizens and business owners money by streamlining our operations in watershed, we are meeting the challenge of ensuring efficiencies and savings in the critical area of garbage collection. So I must tell you, as a part of my tour around the county and meeting with our thousands of employees and department leaders, I recently rode alongside some of our committed members of our sanitation team. It was refreshing to witness firsthand the pride of our crews delivering this essential service each and every day. It was tiring too, you all. It was also eye-opening to see the true stress and strain that delivering this service causes our employees. Currently, DeKalb Sanitation provides garbage collection twice a week, along with a separate collection day for recycling and yet another day for yard trimmings. In total, this means a garbage truck goes by your house 4 times a week. That's a service that no one else in our metro area gets. So as a part of our ongoing efforts to address this efficiency in this operation, we have launched a new pilot program in our sanitation department. Under this program, all materials will be collected 1 day per week. Also, pilot participants will receive 65-gallon roll carts without charge for their household waste. Now remember, that's a pilot, so if this goes countywide, everybody's not going to be free. Okay, let's put that on the table now. While this program shaves some of the county's expenses required to deliver our current sanitation services, it also actually stands to maintain, if not increase, customer satisfaction. Now, these changes represent best management practices that counties are using successfully across this country, and it will allow our fee structure to remain the same long into the future. So I'm also pleased to report that under this administration, the following advice of our special grand jury has been followed to review and implement new policies and procedures as it relates to the purchasing and contracting department. Therefore, we, the governing authority, have signed a contract to conduct an independent review of our purchasing and policy practices, and those results will be ready for implementation in the near future. In addition, at the last Board of Commissioners meeting, the board passed a resolution in which I submitted that calls upon the General Assembly to create a charter commission to look at ways of improving the structure of our DeKalb County government. Now that deserves a round of applause because we are looking at ways to make our county government work more efficiently. And what I've heard more than anything as I've gone across this county is people are looking for better outcomes. They just want better outcomes. And so whether it's our current form of government or whether it's another, they want to know that DeKalb County is meeting the challenges of our community head on, and that is just what we're doing. Now, another initiative in which I'm very, very proud of is our Progress DeKalb initiative. For the first time in the history of this county, we joined forces with our peers at the DeKalb County School District to host an open and honest conversation before a very live audience. Now, these two government bodies have operated as separate government entities for far too long. Now, are we separate government bodies? Yes. But we also serve the same people. And in fact, working with the school system ensures a more stable and prosperous DeKalb County for all of us to enjoy. Now, No example of this was better than what happened at the McNair Discovery Learning Academy that threatened the lives of our students. And on that day, our youth were exactly where they were supposed to be, in the classroom, preparing their minds to be the next leaders of this great county. Now, as a father of 2 daughters, and you just heard, I got one on the way, and officially I will be the father of 3 girls in my house. Y'all pray for me, okay? But as a father, I can tell you that the issue of governmental jurisdiction was in no way my concern at that time. The safety of those children was the only issue at that moment. As DeKalb County police, fire, and Shepherding deputies stood side by side with our superintendent, school administrators, DeKalb resource officers, and teachers, those separate government entities no longer matter. That's why our Progress DeKalb initiative is so important. Through the sharing of information, resources, and joint strategic planning, county government and our school system can better serve the people of this county. Now, the result on that day was a heart-wrenching moment that we'll never forget. When a gunman entered a school, one of our schools, and there was no loss of life. Now, that deserves a round of applause. Our collaboration saved lives on that day, and indeed can improve lives for years to come through our Progress DeKalb initiative. So once again, I assure you the challenges of our community are undeniably the challenges that this administration and our governing authority is meeting head on. So I'm pleased to announce, and as you've heard, that our new school superintendent and the elected and appointed school board members are moving our county in the right direction, on the right path. Ladies and gentlemen, our school system is off of probation and it's moving in the right direction. And we as a collective body have to ensure that we push forward in excellence. So stand with me again and acknowledge our school board members. Come on, that are here, all of our school board members. Let's give them a round of applause and recognizing them for this monumental achievement. Thank you all so much for your service. Thank you. Now, perhaps one of the most widely reported challenges that we are meeting head on is one of ethics, and indeed integrity in county government. The county's recent ethics controversies, while painful and embarrassing, give us the opportunity to build more transparency into our county government and to create more meaningful changes in our ethics policies. And one of my priorities for 2014 is to restore ethics in government. Trust in government is dependent upon officials that place public interest ahead of their own. Every level of local government has faced allegations of some kind, from conflicts of interest to abuse of authority and lack of transparency. But equally important is even the appearance of impropriety. We have already taken steps in the right direction. First, when the Board of Commissioners increased the funding for the DeKalb County Board of Ethics in 2013. And in my 2014 budget, I have included $118,000 to fund the Board of Ethics. So at the beginning of 2013, that funding level was $15,000. And so what I'm recommending is a 700% increase. Now that shows serious input that I am serious about restoring ethics in our county government. And through executive order as well, I am also appointing a Blue Ribbon Commission to do a comprehensive review of DeKalb County's ethics policy and compare it to other ethics policies around the state and the nation. So by the end of 2014, they should be presenting to me their recommendations on how we can improve upon our own ethics policies. And recently, I've received a letter from my good friend, Commissioner Larry Johnson, who has been one of the front runners on the issue of having an internal auditor with all of our commissioners, Commissioner Jeff Rader, Elaine Boyer, Commissioner Sharon Barnes-Sutton, Commissioner Gannon, who are here right now, and Stan Watson as well. This may sound like inside baseball, but Commissioner Johnson's point is this: to ensure that there is no appearance of impropriety, the functions of operations and the functions of audits should be separate. After all, we've been auditing ourselves for quite some time now, and you've kind of seen how that's gotten us, right? So effective immediately, I will be transferring 3 positions to the Board of Commissioners to fulfill this critical need as outlined in the Organizational Act of DeKalb County. So with these measures in place and many more on the way, let me assure you that we are meeting the challenges of ethics in county government head on. And thank you. And we're going to fix them once and for all as well. So to the members of the media who've been following me around all day, we want to thank you for what has truly been a robust reporting of DeKalb County. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. But I want you to know seriously that we are working to transform the headlines here in DeKalb County into more positive reflections of the people and the progress we're making in the areas of ethics, efficiency, and indeed every other quality of life initiative that I've outlined here for you today. We have improved our bond rating, our steady hand in showing our steady hand in leadership. We now have a prudent reserve of $30 million in our rainy day fund. This represents a savings to our taxpayers as we finance our long-term debt. Now, there's also been a lot of talk about various communities that want to form their own cities. And I would like to repeat my stand on this issue. Cityhood is not necessarily a bad thing, but the cherry picking of choice commercial properties into quickly drawn enclaves hurts everyone. Mostly, it hurts the people outside of those borders who don't get to vote on the issue. So I would like to renew my call to the Georgia General Assembly to refrain from creating any new cities this year until we can work out an equitable solution to the current law. And ladies and gentlemen, that will only occur through robust dialogue, from us sitting down at the table whether we agree with one another or not. And we must understand that the state of our county is that we are strong. We are innovators. We are leading the charge in smart government. The foundation for a robust economy has been laid, and we must now stay the course to realize the benefits of our labor. In the words of President Lyndon B. Johnson, and I quote, "Today in this moment of new resolve, I would say, let us continue this our challenge, not to hesitate, not to pause, not to turn about and linger, but to continue on our course so that we may fulfill the destiny that history has set for us." In DeKalb County, history has set for us a destiny of greatness. We begin a new chapter in DeKalb County's story. Today, we continue to ensure that we are good stewards of the public's trust. Now let us walk in this new resolve as this administration and our Board of Commissioners, as we work to meet the many challenges of today head on, delivering on our promise to ensure a future for progress in our county. I must also challenge you today, as President Johnson did back in 1963, to do your part as well. We will rebuild the walls of DeKalb County, and we will do it together. We will do it like Nehemiah did and the people of Jerusalem. We will do it in record time because we will be doing it together. Now, here's the big elephant in the room as I close. You know, I've laid out plans for the next 3 years, and in your mind, you're thinking, well, Lee, you may not be in this seat over this course of time. And that is true. So how do we deal with that? And I'm glad you asked me that. So here's my answer. We must do it together. This is not a county of one. You must not hesitate to sit at the table and let your voice be heard. You must not pause in working alongside government to enhance the quality of life of our community. You must accept and embrace today the opportunity to frame our future of this county. And so now is not the time to turn about and linger, but rather stand up, step forward, and walk in partnership with us. Now is the time to meet the challenges head on, together. So as we do what's right for our beloved county together, we will continue to fulfill the destiny and the legacy of greatness that is DeKalb County, Georgia. So I just want to thank you all today. I want to say God bless you. God bless the United States of America. God bless the state of Georgia. And yes, God bless DeKalb County, the county that I love. Thank you.
CEO, thank you so much. That was a great message, and thank you for all of your hard work along with the Board of Commissioners and everybody here in this room, the business community and the citizens of DeKalb County. We thank you all for being here today. Thank you to our sponsors, to our partners, to our government, and to our partner in the DeKalb County Chamber of Commerce.
And so next we'd like to ask Rabbi Adam Starr if he would come forward for a benediction. And as he makes his way up, we also want to just acknowledge, he had to leave a little bit early, but also Congressman Hank Johnson, who I know the CEO referenced his attendance, but we want to publicly acknowledge him. And so, Rabbi Starr.
Before reciting the benediction, I just wanted to offer thanks and appreciation on behalf of my synagogue, the Young Israel of Toco Hills, for all the support and guidance from DeKalb County as we are in the midst of a building project, a capital campaign. And we really thank especially Commissioners Kathy Gannon and Jeff Rader for their support and coming out on a bright sunny day in August for our groundbreaking. And I know that God has a sense of humor. I'll tell you how. Our synagogue is being built just up the road on La Vista Road, and the cross streets for this Orthodox Jewish synagogue are Merry and Christmas. It doesn't get much better than that. Heavenly Father, our rock and redeemer, may you bestow your bountiful blessings upon the citizens of our great county, DeKalb County, Georgia. May you protect its citizens and deliver them from distress and every woe and iniquity. May you send blessing and success to all of their work of their hands. May the Supreme King of Kings send your light of truth to our leaders and direct them with good counsel before you. O God, may you bless and protect and uplift our leader, CEO Mr. Lee N. May, and all of the commissioners, officers, and officials of this county. Put into their hearts wisdom, kindness, honesty, and integrity to lead the great citizens of this county. And God, may you unite our hearts across religious, cultural, economic, and racial lines to see the divine image within each and every human being. And may we all come to love and to revere your holy name. Amen.
We're adjourned. You may leave.